Montana is an amazing place to live. We're one of the few places left in the world where you can be working at your office job and get off of work and then 15, 20 minutes later be on, the mountain bike path or be hiking up the end behind me. One of the problems is that we place so many constraints around building homes to accommodate the people who want to live here that it's making it tough for regular folks to actually live in this great place.
And I really worry about my kids and about the young folks who move to town and how they're not going to have the opportunities to build their lives in the same way that I have.
The lack of housing is changing the demographics of the city, and in many cases is pushing people out of the city.
Not only does it make the town a little bit less vibrant, but I feel like the community is weakening as well.
Zoning as a concept was originally created to separate dirty or toxic industry and clean places for people to live.
But what it's actually become is the government dictating all aspects of property owners' rights.
The effect has been, in many cases, to exclude opportunity for new members to join the community, and it's done that by restricting the supply of available housing, which has resulted in an increase in housing costs.
We have a lot of different ranging zoning restrictions across the state, but they're all consistent in the fact that they're zoning out the middle market.
Things like duplexes, townhomes, triplexes, they're missing because governments have instituted strict local zoning regulations that have effectively prohibited these sorts of homes from vast portions of our communities.
Density is how we all get to live in the same place and all have the same opportunities. Certainly it affects the people at the bottom of the income scale the very most.
We're not creating opportunities for any of those people that we need to run our cities, and by not being able to create homes for all people at all income levels, we're really doing ourselves a disservice.
The idea of potentially having to leave Montana because of rising housing costs is devastating to me. This is where I grew up. This is my home.
People are moving where they can afford to live at this point. You can go anywhere in this state and see a help wanted sign.
That's one of the amazing discoveries that we've found since we've started the Montana Zoning Atlas project, is that there's this area of agreement between, oftentimes the far left and the far right on this issue. From a conservative point of view, it's about rights. It's about property rights. It's the right to use your property in a way that maximizes its value to your community.
If you're on the left like me, you should support zoning reform because it's the single greatest thing that we have direct control over to solve climate change.
If we're gonna protect Montana's environment, we're gonna have to grow inward in these urban areas rather than sprawling out into the counties. We're all gonna have to give a little. That means that we're gonna have to embrace new neighbors and embrace a mix of socioeconomic backgrounds in our neighborhoods. Otherwise, Montana's just gonna become an expensive gated community that only the wealthy can live in.
If we tried in earnest and we really implemented some serious zoning reforms at the local and state levels, we would go a long way to addressing our housing crisis in Montana.
In the past, it has seemed unthinkable to get the really substantive change that we need to zoning, but everybody is waking up to how much it is holding us back, how many opportunities aren't available to us because of our restrictive zoning. A really healthy, sustainable, resilient community is one that has a place for everybody.